Class, our topic for today is partnership dissolution. Magkakaroon ng dissolution whenever may change in the ownership interest in the partnership. Example is admission of a new partner or withdrawal or retirement of an existing partner. Yung key point to remember here is that it's as if parang formation siya. You remeasure the assets and liabilities at fair market value. You need to adjust the capital balances of the partners before you admit or before someone retires. Okay? Let's go straight to our problems for today. Ayan. Short problem lang for problem number 1. Let's read the question. Immediately after ABS admission, Chest's capital should be... Okay. Let's read the given. Chest and Legs are partners who share profits and losses in the ratio of 60-40. Okay. This is the P&L ratio. On January 1, 2020, their respective capital accounts were as follows. Chest, 60,000. Legs, 50,000. Actually, from here, you can compute the capital ratio. Diba? Yung kay Chest, 60 and 50. Total niyan is 110,000. Yung capital ratio ni Chest is 60 over 110. For Legs, 50 over 110. Yun lang yung ibig sabihin ng capital ratio. The ratio of the partner's capital over the total capital of the partnership. And as you can see, class, yung capital ratio, hindi natin masyadong ginagamit in our computations. We usually use the P&L ratio. Gagamitin mo lang yung capital ratio during liquidation. Everything else, usually ginagamit natin is the P&L ratio. Alright? Okay, let's continue. On that date, ABS was admitted as a partner. This is an example of an admission of a new partner. With 1/3 interest in capital and profits for an investment of 40,000. Okay. So, in-admit si ABS, nag-invest siya ng 40,000 with 1/3 interest or ownership in the partnership. The new partnership, workout A, began with a total capital of 150,000. Immediately after ABS's admission, Chest's capital should be... Okay. So, sir, paano natin isolve yung ganyan? Ganito pag-solve ng dissolution problem. Lagay natin yung capital balances for Chest, Legs, and ABS. Alright, lagay natin dito unadjusted. Okay, for Chest, it's 50,000 or 60,000. For Legs, 50,000. And then for ABS, 40,000. Nag-invest siya ng 40. Alright, 60 plus 50, 110 plus 40, 150,000. The total capital of the partnership, which is equal to this one. Okay, but then, 40,000 lang yung invest ni ABS, but he was given 1/3 interest. Ano ba yung 1/3 of 150? 50,000. Instead of giving him 40, 50,000. Right? So, mas maliit yung invest niya than na credit na capital sa kanya. The 10,000 difference here, you call this bonus to the incoming partner. Bonus to the new partner. So, if nadagdagan siya 10,000, dapat ibawas mo yung 10,000 from the old partners. Okay? How do we adjust the 10,000 to the old partner's capital balances? We use the P&L ratio. Okay, you use the P&L ratio for the bonuses. 10,000 times 60%, 6,000. For Chest, minus 6,000 to, right? And then for Legs naman, minus 4,000. Alright, so the adjusted capital balances of the three partners are 60 minus 6,000. This is 54,000. 50,000 minus 4,000, this is 46,000. Total capital of 150,000. Okay? If you journalize this, though in the board exam naman, since multiple choice siya, hindi masyadong natatanong about journal entries, but if you journalize this, paano gagawin mo dyan? Well, since nabawasan yung capital of partners, Chest and Legs, and nadagdagan yung capital ni ABS, debit Chest capital, 6,000. Debit Legs capital, 4,000. Credit ABS capital, 10,000. That's your journal entry. Right? Okay. Immediately after ABS's admission, Chest's capital should be, final answer is 54,000, letter B. Okay, simple question lang for problem number 1. Alright. Let's proceed to problem number 2. Class, if you appreciate this free accounting tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I have a new video. This is problem number 2. What is the total capital of Workout B partnership? Okay, total capital is the question. Let's read the given. Back, biceps, and abs were partners with capital balances of, on January 1, 2020 of 300, 200, and 100 respectively. On July 1, 2020, Back retires from the partnership. This time, retirement naman. Alright, in the first problem, it's admission. This time, retirement. Also a form of dissolution. On that date of retirement, the partnership's net loss is 60,000, and the partners agreed that certain assets to be revalued at 80,000 from its original cost of 50. From 50 daw, gagawing 80,000. So that's an increase of 30,000. Okay? Don't forget that during dissolution, yung goal mo is to update the capital balances of the partners before may i-admit and before may mag-retire. Okay? In this case, ang may adjustment natin will be the net loss and the revaluation of 30,000. 30,000, yes, increase of 30,000. Para siyang formation. We remeasure the assets and liabilities at fair market value. Alright? The partners agreed further to pay back 225,000 in settlement of his interest. O, yun yung binayad sa kanya. Nag-retire siya and he was paid 225,000. The remaining partners continue to operate under a new partnership, workout B partnership. O, sir, how do we solve this? O, ganito mo siya isosolve. Partners back, biceps, and abs. Again, goal is to update the capital balances. Okay? These are the unadjusted capital balances. I'll put here unadjusted capital balances. 300,000 for partner back, 200,000 for partner biceps, and 100,000 for partner abs. Okay, now let's allocate the loss to the partners. Loss of 60,000 to the partners. So how do we allocate? Nasaan yung P&L ratio? Uy, hindi mention in the problem ano yung P&L ratio. Okay. If it's silent, what do you assume? Do you assume equal yung allocation divided by 3? No. According to the partnership law, okay, very explicit, if walang agreement yung partners as to the profit and loss allocation, you use their original capital contributions, okay, as the ratio to allocate profits and losses to the partners. Okay, very explicit yan under the partnership law. Now, in this case, sir, nasan dyan yung original capital contribution? Hindi natin alam kailan nag-start yung partnership. Well, hindi natin alam, pero we have the beginning balances. We can assume that the beginning balances are also their original capital contributions, okay? Meaning, yung magiging ratio natin will be 300 plus 200 plus 100, 600 yun, right? So, 3 over 6, 2 over 6, and 1 over 6. Got it? Okay, now, we can now allocate the net loss, 60,000. 60,000 for partner back. Okay, 60,000 times 3 over 6, 30,000. This is negative since this is a loss. 30,000. 60,000 times 2 over 6, 20,000. For partner abs, 60,000 times 1 over 6, 10,000. Alright, that's how you allocate the net loss to the partners. And then, may isa pa. There's a revaluation, right? From 50 to 80. So, that's an increase of 30,000. Okay? Lagay natin dito, revaluation. Okay. 30,000, we use the same ratio to allocate times 3 over 6, 15,000. This time, positive naman siya. 15,000. 30,000 times 2 over 6, 10,000. And then 30,000 times 1 over 6, 5,000. Alright? As you can see, class, actually, pwede naman natin i-offset yan earlier. Yung 60 na net loss, and then 30 na positive. So, magiging negative 30,000. And then, allocate mo, 3 is to 2 is to 1. Ganun din yung makukuha mo. Okay? Ginawa ko lang mas mahaba yung computation natin for this one. Anyway, alright, na-update na natin yung capital balances. We can now compute the adjusted capital balances. Let's go to partner back muna. 300,000 minus 30 plus 15,000, 285,000. 285,000. For partner biceps, 200,000 minus 20,000 plus 10,000, 190,000. Okay, and for partner abs, 100,000 minus 10 plus 5,000, 95,000. Okay, these are the adjusted capital balances of the three partners. Alright, let's go to the last paragraph. The partners agreed further to pay back 225,000. If you see the capital balance of back, actually yung fair na ibigay sa kanya is 285,000, but he was only paid 225,000. Okay? The difference na 60,000, you call it bonus to the remaining partners. Tama? Kasi mas maliit yung binayad sa kanya. Dapat 285. Pero, as far as the partnership book is concerned, wala ng capital si back in the books. So, minus 285 dyan. Okay? Magiging 0 na yan. Alright? And then, the difference of 60,000, bonus to the remaining partners yun. Allocate natin to partners, biceps, and abs. How do we allocate? Well, gagamitin natin yung P&L ratio, or actually yung capital ratio this time. Since wala na si back, huwag mo na gagamitin yung 300. It's 200 and 100. So, 2 is 2 over 3 and 1 over 3. Okay, so 60,000 times 2 over 3, 40,000 for partner biceps. This is positive, 40,000. For partner abs naman, difference, the remaining 20,000. Alright? So, 190 plus 40,000, this is 230,000. And then for abs naman, this is 115,000. Since the question is total capital, well, we'll just add the two. 230 plus 115,000. Okay, so 230,000 plus 115,000, 345,000. This is your final answer, 345,000. Letter A. Alright. What I showed you is the long way to solve this. Actually, merong shorter version to. Okay? How do we solve this na mas mabilis? In the boards, I recommend na pag magsasagot ka ng ganito, okay lang na mahabang solution yung gamitin mo. Kasi para at least mas sure ka dun sa sagot mo. And then, once na may time ka pa to review your answers, then you use the shorter solution. Okay? To make sure that you got the right answer. So, paano yung shorter version? Lagay ko dito, alternative. Ganito lang siya. Since the question is total capital, we can start with the capital balances of the partners. 300 plus 200 plus 100, 600,000. Capital, unadjusted, is 600,000. And then, we reflect the net loss of 60. Loss, 60,000. And then, also, revaluation of 30. Reval, 30,000. Positive, 30. And then, we paid the partner back 225,000. Payment, 225,000. Negative. Okay, if we sum this up, 600 minus 60 plus 30 minus 225, it's also 345,000. Okay, 345,000, which is consistent with our first solution. Ang ganun sa board exam, pwedeng long method for the first time we answer, and then pag ni-review mo siya, you can use an alternative way. At least dito, sure na sure ka na tama yung sagot mo. 345,000, letter A.
That's the end of this free tutorial. Patikim pa lang yan. What if for partnership dissolution, merong hidden overvaluation or undervaluation of assets? What if yung investment of the partner is more than or less than the agreed capital? What would you do? Tuturo namin lahat yan. At Pinnacle, regardless of your accounting background, we will provide you with the most efficient and effective review by focusing on best review strategies, key points to remember, shortcuts, common tricks, and mistakes. For reservation and to know more about us, visit our website and Facebook page. All the links are in the description below. Reserve now because we only accept limited number of students in order to preserve the quality of our review. Class dismissed. See you next week.